Hello everyone, my name is Christian Dannell, and this is just my final tech report presentation. For my tech report, I decided to build a Arduino-powered vending machine. So a little objective behind my vending machine, I wanted to build a small vending machine out of wood that had 3 vending coils, and I wanted to give the final design of this vending machine a very clean look and a very transparent look in terms of seeing the electronics and the products being displayed. I also wanted to make it very easy to gain access to the electronics in the back and gaining access to the vending coils. So here's my final product. So on the left side you see I made the interface very easy to understand with very big labels. On the interface there's a 16:2 LCD keypad which will display the operation which is happening, which is the vending, and it'll display the product you ordered. On the left side of the screen, you see a big label which will display the key. This key will correspond to the 4x4 keypad. I have a power disconnect, a 2-position switch, and a momentary push button to control LED lights on it. I have, after this presentation, there will be a demonstration video in which I will get more in depth in the electronics and the operation of the vending machine. So on the right side of the screen you can see I have plexiglass in the front for viewing the products. I have plexiglass in the back for the electronics. On the sides of the enclosure there are 1/4-inch channels cut so the pieces of plexiglass can slide in and out. So here's my first little prototype. For my first prototype I ordered an Arduino Mega Kit which came with a servo motor and a stepper motor. So I first started prototyping with servo motors, and I quickly learned they don't do a continuous 360, so then I ordered a kit of 5-volt stepper motors. This kit came with five 5-volt stepper motors and 5 drivers. So with this kit I decided to build a little prototype. So on the right side you can see the first box I decided to make. And the little holes on the top of the box were where the stepper motors were going to go. On the left side of the screen you can see the first little prototypes of my motors. So a couple problems with this prototype was I quickly learned that these 5-volt stepper motors were not powerful enough to drive the torque needed to move my coil. I experimented with a couple coil options. First one was using solder, hot glued to a little coil mount which attached to my motor. All my coil options proven to be too heavy and not enough torque could be produced for these 5-volt stepper motors. So some good did come from this first prototype. I decided what I wanted to use for my final design. So the big one was my first prototype. I'll just quickly go back. Let's see. My first prototype, I gave easy access to the back of the vending machine, which made it very easy to gain access to my electronics. So that's one thing that carried over to my final design, which I implemented. So here's just my final design and the dimensions that followed it. So like the prototype, I gave easy viewing to the front. Also, in this time, in the final design, I gave easy access and viewing to the back. So these 1/4-inch channels will allow these 2 pieces of plexiglass to be slid out. And here's just my dimensions. So the vending machine stands 2 feet tall by a foot long and 18 inches wide. So in this front panel you'll see where I wanted my LCD screen to go and my keypad, and also where the products would fall. So here are just some photos during the construction. So first, what I did was I cut all the wood I needed. So I first started by cutting a 36-inch by 12-inch board in half, which formed the top and the bottom piece. After I got that piece cut, I decided to cut 1/4-inch channels in the sides, which I didn't have to cut, and I cut 1/4-inch channels in the bottom too. So this just made it easy for the plexiglass to slide in and out. Also, I had to cut 2 boards to form a little L-shaped channel, L-shaped piece on the inside. And this also needed a 1/4-inch channel just on the inside for the front viewing of the plexiglass. So channels along the back for the back plexiglass, and in the front for this plexiglass, and for this front panel too. So here's just a picture of my electronics. In my second video of the demo, I go through a lot more detail the electronics. So up here I got a PCB board with a relay and a battery holder. That will just power my lights. And those wires go to a terminal block. So I have an LCD screen with an I2C kit soldered on. This converts the 16 pin layout into a 4-wire control system. My Arduino of choice was an Arduino Mega. Here I just have my keypad, which is just a 8-wire control. I have my selector switch, and I have my momentary push button. I have 3 2-amp stepper motors, and I have my 3 4-amp drives. My power supplies was a 24-volt DC, 3-amp power supplies. So from the power supplies, it goes into my 2-amp fuse. After the fuse, it goes into my selector switch. Out of my selector switch, it goes to 24-volt DC 2 terminal blocks, and that will power my drives. And it also goes into a voltage regulator, which regulates the voltage into 9 volts, makes it usable for my Arduino, and also my LCD screen. So on the right here, here's just my final product. So I 3D printed the vending coil mounts, and to make the coil, I just wrapped a thin metal rod around a spray paint can, which gave me the perfect diameter for the coils, which is around 3 inches. So here's just some real world uses. In an industrial setting, a vending machine would be the perfect tool to give workers or even customers access to PPE, like masks or gloves. The Arduino is great because it allows so many more upgrades and potential modifications, like maybe a potential inventory system that could keep track of the inventory. Another possible upgrade for this vending machine was to maybe use a RFID kit. So that would make gaining access to the products inside the vending machine a lot more secure. A chip would have to be presented to gain access to the keypad, or even a password on the 4x4 keypad before vending a product. So it would be great in an industrial situation where someone is constantly taking out masks or earplugs, and keeping tracks of the products would be a breeze, and also filling the products can be done on its own time. So the vending machine could also be used as just like a personal gift. See, it is built at a fairly low price point of under $300. So this could be manufactured for far cheaper if it was being built in bulk. And since due to its small size, it fits fairly well inside someone's house or even on a desk. So a gift standpoint would be fairly nice, especially during this festive time of year. So just some courses that helped. The big one for me was microprocessors. Microprocessors introduced Arduino to me, and it definitely sparked an interest in me. So microprocessors went over just basic coding of Arduino, and writing to pins, reading pins. Another course that helped with me was project management. This project had a big scale, and it was important to manage my time so I wouldn't get behind on deadlines or due dates. So project management definitely set up this project to be successful and finish on a timely manner.